We are going to continue B'ezrat Hashem B'lineder with halachot of Kibbud Avi'em and also a little bit Musar. Today I think it will be the last Musar for Tefillah, and then B'lineder will start with, over here shows me Talmud Torah. And the Yalkut Yosef brings down Mitzvot Kibbud Avi'em Harehu Kichol Mitzvot Aseh. When it comes to honoring one's mother and father, it's like any other positive commandment in the Torah. That it helps to be done through a messenger. That if a person wants to do it himself, or he has to send somebody else to do it, it doesn't matter, Rabotai, you are able to do it also through somebody else. Because a messenger of a person is like the person himself. So therefore, if your parents ask you to do something, you are able to go out and get somebody else to do it for them. If you're at work or you're learning or something like that, you're able to ask somebody else to do it for you. Nevertheless, nevertheless, when it comes to honoring your mother and father, over there also we're going to tell you that the mitzvah is done better, Rabotai, when it's done by yourself than doing through a messenger. If a person has an option to do mitzvah bora, if you have an option to do it yourself or to do it through a messenger, it's always good to do the mitzvah yourself. That's what it says. The mitzvah bo yoter mi b'shlucho. The mitzvah comes better when you do it than your messenger. Over here we're going to say the same thing by the parents, that if you're able to send somebody else, let's say to buy milk for your parents, it would be better that if you would go ahead and do it yourself than sending somebody else, even though halachically you are allowed to send somebody else. ואפילו אם היה הבן תלמיד חכם, ישתדל לעשות המצווה בעצמו, אך אם אביו מצווה עליו לשרתו, רבותיי, והדבר קשה על הבן מאיזה סיבה, רשאי לכבודו על ידי שליח. Rabotai, even if the son is a Talmid Chacham and he wants to do the mitzvah, Rabotai, however, his father wants particularly that he should go ahead and serve him, but the son for some reason is not able to do the mitzvah, Rashai lichvodo al yidei shaliach, the son who's a Talmid Chacham, he wants to do it by himself, but for whatever reason he can't do it, he's allowed to do it through a messenger. V'yotzei yidei chovat mitzvah, he's able to fulfill his obligation that way by honoring and serving his parents. V'im ha'orim makpidim shedavka ben yishamesh otam. A lot of times you have parents that are going to be embarrassed if somebody else is going to do it. They want you to do it. They don't want you to bring it to somebody else. They want you to do it. Yishamesh otam, Rabotai. He says, Yesh omrim shechayav hu l'shamsham b'chvodo u'be'atzmo. If your parents are particular that they want you to be the one to deliver whatever they want, you have to take care of them and nobody else. V'lo yidei shaliach, and not through a messenger. If you refuse to honor your parents by yourself, you transgress the prohibition of fearing your parents. So therefore, if a father and mother, again, Rabotai, I don't know, let's say they want you to do something that is not comfortable for other people to do it, you have to go ahead and do it by yourself. If the father is ashamed that the thing is going to be done through somebody else, Rabotai, if the father is going to be embarrassed, I don't know, let's say he's old and he needs to put on socks or something like that, or he's not going to be comfortable that people are always coming to see him, or maybe the house is a mess. Whatever the situation might be, Rabotai, we tell the son that he has to go out of his way, try to do everything in his utmost power to go ahead and serve them, because the parents don't want nobody else. Unless, Rabotai, there will be an exception if the son lives, let's say, in a faraway place where he cannot come to see the parents. Then over there we're going to tell him he's able to go ahead and do it through the messenger, because there's no other way to go about the situation. Okay, Rabotai, Musar and Tefillah. In the Sefer Avir Yaakov, he brings down over here that the worst investment one can make in doing a mitzvah, Rabotai, is when you do it with Aveirot. A lot of times when we come to davening, it doesn't only apply to davening, it applies to anything else. Right? I'll give you a small example. A lot of times you have people They wanna, I don't know, they wanna do a small gathering, but in that small gathering they do bar mitzvah, brit milah, wedding, but in that gathering they have also many averos, Rabotai. So you're taking your money basically and you're investing in something which is gonna produce, is gonna give you back dividends of averos. Same thing over here is gonna bring down that a lot of times we come to shul, we are already here, but what do, Rabotai? We invest in the wrong things during davening. Let me show you what he says over here. Bo lomar al hamon am she'enam mashgichim ba'avodat Hashem yitbarach. Rabotai, come and let's speak about a person or people, better yet, that they're not careful in avodat Hashem. May He be blessed. They don't supervise their avodat Hashem. Everything else we have supervisors. You have managers that manage building. You have accountants that do your accountants. You have lawyers that take care of your bills. You have doctors that run your health. Everything in this world we have that is taken care of except avodat Hashem. Who's your Artur? Who's your rabbi when it comes to seeing if you're spiritually healthy or not? Who's the rabbi? You. Me. Artur, I want to tell you something. Do you know why we don't have a, not we, but do you know why a lot of people don't have a rabbi? Do you know why or no? Ego. No, that's a good answer. Ego, but I'll tell you something. When things are for free, not everybody appreciates it. When you pay from your pocket, you feel it, you understand? Rabotai, over here he says, it's not enough that they don't even want to learn Torah half an hour a day. From 24 hours, you cannot give half an hour a day to yourself. You eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner much more than this. Even in time of prayer, which is in place of sacrifices, that hour when you walk into shul, doesn't matter, mincha, shacharit, mincha aravit, once you walk in that hour to daven to Hashem, that hour we bring upon ourselves din v'cheshbon chas v'shalom. Hashem judges us then, meaning we bring on ourselves trouble basically. Why? Because we go with the vanities of the world. How? Keitad. Ma la'asot be'ine ploni v'kiyoteh, me'ine le'ine ba'oto inna shel havlei olam, asher otam ha'machshavot lo ye'ilu v'lo yatilu, ki tohu hema rabotai. When a person comes into davening, what does he start thinking, Artur? I'm Yiljon. Okay, I have to help this person, I have to do this, I have to run my errands over there, I have to do X, Y, and Z. He starts thinking, he takes care of his business problems, his social networking, everything he starts taking care of, everything is shul. The phones are there, he's trying to make the business deal, he's trying to look at his email, trying to text somebody. Every time, he's trying to go ahead and trying to take care of all of his problems. When? During davening. That 1 hour you have, or those 15 minutes during mincha, or those 10 minutes during aravit that you have, you want to tell me you can't put the phone away in airplane mode? You want to, that's hard. Or what about the people that learn during that time? They read pamphlets during the davening. Rabotai, we're not fully invested in avodat Hashem. We're not. And that's unfortunately. And that's what he says. What do we think? We think we're going to take care of it. Okay, I'm going to come out, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Rabotai, he says, all these machshavot, all these thoughts that you have, they're not going to help you, they're not going to save you. All of them are vanity of vanities. You're wasting your time about thinking about all these things. Okay, 1 second. So if I have to change the oil today, you think you're going to change your oil that day? It's not going to happen, Rabotai. You're wasting your time. וمרוב תרדתם במחשבתם ההם, נמנעים מלענות אמן וברוך הוא ברוך שמו. A lot of times, because since the person is busy with all these machshavot, how's going to be, what's going to be, what he said, what she said, Rabotai, what ends up happening, we don't answer amen, we don't answer baruch hu baruch shemo. והמחשבות שמחשבים בשעת התפילה, בזה מבטלים מה שאומר בתורה, ולעבדו בכל לבבכם. Rabotai, we know it says in the Torah, also we say it every single day in Shema, that a person has to serve Hashem with all his heart. Every time we come, do we serve Hashem with all our heart? No, absolutely not. We don't even serve Hashem with 10% of our heart. It's not bichol, it's, I don't know how to even say it. A person who's at the time of Tefillah Rabotai and his machshavot are anywhere else but in davening, you should know you are nullifying the mitzvah of serving Hashem with all your heart. Rabotai, we have to know this over here. This is very important because when we say in Shema, Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha, we say it, but do we mean it? Do we actually mean that we love Hashem with all our heart and with all our soul? Here, go ahead, take a test. When it comes to learning, when it comes to davening, when it comes to mitzvah, when it comes to doing mitzvot, are you fully invested? Abara, you ever see people do averos? You know, I always tell my wife, you have people that sometimes they fly in from different countries, from all over the world, to go to a not kosher party. From all over the world. Or they're going to come and they're going to do shtuyot, who knows? Just to show the guy honor. Let me ask you, how much money they invested in the ticket? At least 1,000, at least. Another hotel over here, another 5,000 maybe for the week that they're going to stay here. Then they have to give the guy money again, whatever it is. They're coming in $10,000 strong, easy, Rabotai, to come to do Averos. When did you see the last time a person took $10,000 and invested to go and learn Torah, to do mitzvah, to buy the proper tefillin, to do something with his life important? When did she last time? So I tell my wife all the time, just like these people invest their time, their money into this, we have to try to learn from them and do just the opposite and take the money and invest in everything else but that. The kids, mitzvot, Torah, Rabotai, because this in the end is going to stay by you. I just want to read over here really quick. In Simukuf Chav Dalet, in Halakha Dalet Hey Vav, I'm going to do just really quick. I'm not going to go through every halakha in depth. These things your rabbi should be teaching you, Rabotai. This is what we're telling you right now, that when you're davening, Shacharit Mincha or Aravit, you have to be very careful not to be busy on your phones, not to be even learning Torah then. It's a very big problem, Rabotai, because you're not going to be able to answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo and Amen, or not to be able to think about other things. You want to try to invest in Avodat Hashem. You want to try to invest in your prayer. Like we say all the time, Rabotai, once that prayer goes through, you know you're going to have a very good day, Bezrat Hashem B'lin Adu. He says over here, Rabotai, Halakha Dalet, in Simon Kuf Chav Dalet, כששליח ציבור חוזר התפילה, when the שליח ציבור repeats the עמידה, הקהל יש להם לשתוק ולכוון לברכות שמברך החזן ולעלות אמן. The congregation has to be quiet, and they have to have what in Miljom? They have to have kavanah for the blessings that the shalik tzibur is saying, in order to be able to answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo and Amen. But how can you do that if your mind is busy, or if you're making coffee, or if you're on your phone, or if you're learning Torah? How are you going to do? That's what the Mishnah Berurah brings down. Even learning Torah, Rabotai, during Chazar Tashatz, one should not do it. That's one halakha. Halakha, he says, Al-kol beracha shadam shomei b'chol makom, Omer Baruch Hu u'Baruch Shemo. Anytime you hear a bracha, right? For example, I'll give you an example. A person goes in and he wants to say Shakal right now. So he says, Baruch Atah Hashem. You have an obligation to say Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo. What do we do? We answer Amen. The Shulchan Aruch tells us whenever you hear Baruch Atah Hashem, anytime, any place, anywhere, Rabotai, you have to say Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo. How am I going to be able to answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo if I'm busy on my phone? Because I'm not paying attention to what the guy's saying. Some of them even swallow the words. That's for Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo. Halakha Vav comes and tells us, V'yanu Amen Achar Kol Beracha. All these are halachot, Rabotai. You have to answer Amen after every beracha. I'm not John, but how am I going to be able to do it if I am constantly busy? Rabotai, and this is why we see today, when we come to our shuls, if a person sees all these things, it's a khurban, it's a destruction. Rabotai, b'li ein hara, as a father, I'm not more worried about myself and everybody else around, because I am not a policeman. I'm here to teach, I'm here to learn, I'm here to practice and to do, but I can't sit here and guard every single person. But I'll tell you one thing, Artur John, when it comes to my kids, if I see my children are with me, it's a different ball game automatically. Why? Because when we learn, we know. So if you do something wrong, I know it's wrong. But the kids, how do they know if what you're doing is right or wrong? How do they know that? Can you tell me? They're innocent children. They see a person, they come to show all they see is talking, phone, business, sports. That's all they see. So what does the shul become? Hevel havalim. Sometimes people bring their children over here because because of breakfast, or because for other reasons. We bring the children over here for wrong reasons, Rabotai. As parents, we want to try to be vigilant around the surroundings, like you are vigilant when it comes to bad friends. Rabotai, there's nothing worse than having a religious guy doing the tefillah on his phone, or reading a book, or even learning Torah when you're davening. Why? Because the child looks at him. Why? He has a black hat, a white shirt, but he's learning Torah. No, but that's not what the halakha requires of us. That's what Rabotai, just like you think, or you guys even know, that it's dangerous to have a bad friend who's going to convince your child to do drugs and girls. Rabotai, in shul, you have to be vigilant with your children. Do not let them run around with other people, because you do not know what goes on in shuls. Sometimes I go to certain shuls, I tell you straightforward, if I see that the community or even the children that shul are not fit for my children, I get up, I will walk away from that shul. There's nothing what to talk about, Rabotai. When it comes to your children, you do not compromise, because these are your future investment, Rabotai. If you want to sleep well, you have to make sure that your children go on the right path. Bezrat Hashem, Rabotai, may we be zoiche to be able to invest in Avodat Hashem. A person should try to make an accountant, a spiritual accountant for yourself. Nobody has to do it for you. You could do it for yourself, but a person should do it in order to know in which derech he's going. Because Rabotai, what's coming up already? Av is coming up. Rosh Chodesh Av, and then what's after Av? Elul. How many of us promised last year we're going to be better Jews? Hi, Miljon. How many of us even kept one thing we said? How many? Rabotai, that's what Rabotai, we have to wake up and make a serious accounting. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen. Rabbi Chaim Igal.